All right, folks, here we are with my next adventure. This was the day following Baldwin Beach, I believe. Yeah, I wanted to go to this waterfall. I was just Googling, best hikes on Maui, and this waterfall came up. I think you pronounce it Waimoku Falls. It's actually, you can't drive there, but I typed that into Google so, you could see the name of it. It's actually, I drove to the Pīpīwai trail. Again, I'm guessing on the pronunciation there. Yeah, I wanted to show the Google directions to get there. So this is what I mean. I talked about this, in the first video. You think Hawaii's an island, everything's close, so I typed this in my mind. I was like, be an hour away maybe. No, 2 hours and 13 minutes. And I almost didn't go. I was a little upset. No, upset's not the wrong word. I was very surprised because that's like a trip to Clemson to me from my house. It's a long way. And I was looking at this track and I'm thinking, why didn't they just build a road, from Kihei down to Wailea, Makena, and just meet up with that road, instead of why do I got to go all the way north and come all the way back down south and all the way west, all the way east. And you learn real quick that in Hawaii, it's very hard to directly go somewhere. There's a mountain there and you can't go through it. So this was kind of the fallout from that. And again, you look at the distance, what is that? 61 miles, on the mainland in a regular car or a regular, road setup. That'd be an hour max, less than an hour. But like 2 hours. I'm thinking, why is 61 miles going to take 2 hours? Well, I quickly found out. So that road, so I left from Kihei and, went up 311 down 37. 37 was a 4-lane highway for some of it, I think. But once this road started wrapping around to the east, it got skinny, and you'll see. I was videoing quite a few, segments or quite a few miles of the road there. And keep in mind when we get there, this road is considered a 2-lane road, even though my car barely fits on it. It was so bad going there. I went up the mountain. There was a time I had to, this is kind of a mountain road with a drop off. Had to back up a little bit, kind of steer to the side to get my car inched over just a little bit so somebody could pass me. And it was such freaking pain and scary that I said, I'm not going back this way. So as you can see, and I'll show a map of this in my last slide, there's a road, I guess it's, 360 that basically circles the island. So it goes through Hana, all the way through Kainei. I'm guessing on all these pronunciations, but I went back around the north side of the island to get home. I don't know if that was the right decision or not. I will say the road was a bit wider and at least better quality than a lot of the places I drove to get to the falls. So I don't think I regret it, but it was a harrowing drive. That was in pitch black at the time because it was, dark. It was nighttime. No street lights anywhere. Pouring rain. So that was about a 2.5 hour drive, mostly at about 15 miles an hour, up and down mountains. Locals on my ass. I was pulling over a lot to let people pass. Well, they drive crazy on those mountain roads, but I guess they know them well. But anyway, let's get into it, because this really was one of the more beautiful things that I did, that I saw while I was there. And what a day. It's between the 2 hour drive there, the 2.5 hour ride home, hike up into the hills to look at the water. It was really incredible. So let's take a look. Yeah, for the also one more thing, I'm gonna try not to talk a lot during the movies that are in the nature, I guess, just so you can hear it and get get a sense of what it sounds like, what it looks like, obviously. But like the ones where I'm driving, where you're just gonna hear car sounds and things, I'll probably talk over those. But the ones where I'm at the scenic points, I'm probably gonna try to not do a whole lot of talking. So you saw that this was some pullover on, I don't know, the road east. I don't know exactly where I pulled over. I pulled over twice, I think. There's this one, so you just saw the video, kind of a panoramic, and these are just two other photos of that. So that's the ocean in the distance. The black at the bottom is volcanic rock leading into the ocean, and obviously the clouds. The clouds are very low in Hawaii. I don't know if that's just a coincidence since I was there, but they seem to be quite a bit lower than clouds on the mainland. I don't know why or if that's even true. I really did like this spot. I heard the park ranger or something there. He was flying a drone out here, actually. This was a pretty spot. Listen to that surf. No handrails here. Be careful. Might be some loose ground on the ledge. I think that would be instant death if you fell off of that. Catch me can, really. I think there's a quick. I haven't already. I unintentionally got the drone for just a moment in here somewhere. I might have missed it. Skeleton of some poor thing that didn't make it. I don't know what that is. Goat, maybe? The big island was full of goats. At first I thought they were farm animals, but now I'm thinking they're wild. I need to look that up. There's also a lot of wild or domestic or feral populations. Is that what it's called? Of chickens and pigs. Here's a picture of what I was just at. Yeah, I did see a few pigs actually. One should be on camera. The other one I couldn't get a camera out in time before it oinked away. But yeah, there's tons of goats. Although I don't know that I saw any goats on Maui, come to think of it. Yeah, just beautiful landscape. I love the sloping mountain just getting eaten up by the clouds. And, like this ravine, what do you think caused that? I have no idea. Was it water a long time ago? Everything's elevated, and this ravine is just kind of cut out, and who knows why. Not me. Unfortunately, there was some trash down there. I think tires. I will say this about Hawaii. It's got... Oh, hold on. All right, so this, look real close. Look closely in the distance. You can see two things flying. Those were V-22 Ospreys that buzzed right overhead. Oh, and I didn't have my camera out. I was so upset about that. I just missed them. Man, that was crazy. We got buzzed by a couple of V-22s right here, right overhead. Yeah, this guy was talking about it. I tried to catch a conversation, but I don't think it was that interesting. But, man, what a pretty flight for them over this landscape, flying low. Man, I would love to catch a ride in one of those and take a look. I don't know where they came from, probably Hickam on Oahu, but there might be some other, sub-bases around that I don't know about. Yeah, this is more of the driving. Man, this was driving east along the coastline, obviously. Just beautiful coastline. As you can tell, Maui has some country. This is... You're going to see this road in a minute. Yeah, alright. Well, you'll see better pictures of it. But you see this road. So this is a 2-lane road. And this is actually one of the wider parts of the 2-lane road. But, yeah, look, it's just... Hawaii is still very much undeveloped, at least the parts that I've seen. You've got your big cities, but once you get outside of those, it is country. I'll put my camera down with cars coming by, I think. Yeah. Didn't want them thinking I was creeping on them, videotaping the car. I love these trees. Yeah, the trees almost look like African trees to me, like something you see on the Serengeti. I've never been there, but I've seen pictures, of course. It seems like all their leaves are up top. Almost looks like they're leaning. It's almost as if they're, windswept or something. I don't know. But I just love that, those clouds hovering over those mountains. Just pretty. Just very pretty. One thing I was saying before the V-22 showed up, yeah, there's the road. That's your 2-lane road in backcountry Maui, and that's about as good of a road you're going to get back here, because it only gets worse. But one thing I saw, I think especially on Maui, was there was a lot of junked cars just sitting around in the woods even. Old, rusted out buckets. I'm surprised that they don't go around and try to clean those up. I don't know. They might all be sitting on private property and people can do what they want. I don't know. But, this here, I was a little tight driving through this. This was overflow rainwater rushing over streets, so they're actually doing construction on the main road, and this was the this was the construction detour. You can see there, kind of, and it was overflowed with rushing water, and I was wondering if I should drive through that or not. But the kicks handled it. Nissan Kicks, baby. I guess I got the snorkel edition. Yeah, because they were, public service announcements or whatever they're called, or emergency alerts were coming on the radio all the time. Flooding. Don't drive through running water. Their catchphrase was, turn around, don't drown. Yeah. Probably should have listened to them, but at that point I'd already been driving, an hour and a half. And I did not want to turn around. So I went for it, and thank goodness it paid off. Oh man, look at that country though. Yeah, it's just gorgeous.
Those are waterfalls, right?
Yeah, if you look real close, you can see a bunch of skinny waterfalls just falling off the mountain. All that rainwater's got to go somewhere. We're going to see a lot larger waterfalls coming up. There's tons of them that aren't going to be tourist attractions. This is all private land. I apologize if you hear my neighbors upstairs bumping around. They're making a little more noise than usual tonight. So. Nah, they're good. I like my neighbors. They don't really make any noise beyond normal living. And there you go. This is more backcountry Maui. See, this road's getting even worse. Yeah, this is, well, I tell you what, I love Hawaii, but I don't think I'd want to live out here. This is out in the middle of nowhere. I'm sure they don't like seeing me drive by, but, you know, I was thinking, oh, this is not a place where tourists go, but if they're going to Waimoku Falls, then oh, shoot, I already forgot. What's it called? Waimoku, I think. Is there an M in there? I'll check the name in a second. There you go. This is your 2-lane road in backcountry Maui. You know, at one point, I don't know if I got it good on tape, but I got to some part of the road and it was just beat to hell. It was like a light switch, you know, just, it was kind of smooth like this, and then suddenly it was just all roughed up. And I wonder if the locals did that on purpose, just to make people slow down. Because my Nissan Kicks couldn't quite handle the rough part. I was rolling over that at like 10 miles an hour max. It was really bumpy. Oh, hey, horsies. And that's actually some SUV got on my ass at that point, and I think it was some cops actually. And that was when I learned I need to pull over, let the locals go. Yeah, they honked and did a shoot, what's it called? Hang loose. Yeah, that's very popular in Hawaii. Yeah, they hang loose. My dive instructor called those shockers. I don't know why. I guess that's a local term for it, but. Yeah, I think when somebody honks at you in Hawaii, it means thank you, I think. Yeah, in South Click, it means somebody's pissed or maybe saying hello. But, yeah, look at this. This might be the road I'm talking about. Look at this. Look how rough this is. But, yeah, I was driving like this fast for dozens of miles. It was just, it was not a fun drive, in my opinion. You know, my brother might love this kind of stuff. I don't know. He'd love the drive on the Big Island. My commute on the Big Island. I'll talk more about that when we get to it. But yeah, I was trying to show the beach here, the ocean, and just they had the barriers up. There we go. That's a better look at it. But you can tell, absolutely no development out here. Well, if you get hurt, I don't know where a hospital is. I don't think an ambulance is coming out here. Maybe they send a chopper. I think you're kind of SOL if you live out here. Yep, still no luck on the beach sighting. But yeah, here's some waterfalls. Yeah, just tons of things like this. Just beautiful. Thousands and thousands of gallons. It was one good thing about the rain is it really made the waterfalls and torrents something to look at. Here's another one. That one's not quite as ferocious. Who won this race? I'm kind of watching this race in the LA Coliseum in the background. It's they just wreck all the time. It's too small, man. I don't know why they race in the Coliseum in LA. It's too small, man. You can't. It's been a wreck not even every 5 laps. Like every 2 laps. Truex Jr. won it. Okay, I wonder what happened to, I guess the leader got taken out. I don't know. Whatever. I'm not even a big race fan anyway. But, I mean, yeah, look at this. Watch out for falling rocks. Thanks. Man, why don't they have some highways here? But, you know, they barely got these roads built. It's hard building roads into the side of a mountain, I guess. Yeah, I don't have it on tape, but some of these, or in some places, this road really narrowed. And it was a road kind of like this. I was going uphill, you know, a huge mountain to my left, vertical face to my left. I kind of had to back up, get to a little wider spot in the road, pull my car off into that, you know, with the drop off like you're seeing right now, and let this Jeep pass. It was that was when I decided, like, I'm not coming back this way. I knew there was a road, going through Hana and leading up around the north. I knew it was a longer drive. In fact, my GPS didn't even offer it as an option because it was like 30 minutes longer than taking me back the way I came. But I was just like, I'm not coming back this way. It can't be worse, right? So maybe it's more of the same, but I'm not going to know until I go try it out. All I know is I did not want to come back the way I came. And I think that ended up being the right choice. It was better quality road. It was about as skinny, but it was paved better, I thought. And there was more chances to kind of pull off and let people pass me too, so. Still going? Yeah, I liked, decided this was cool. Did that a couple of times. It offered a kind of a unique perspective, I guess, but it also got water droplets on my lens, which I did not know, so. Unfortunately, a lot of the video from here on out is going to have water drop right in the way. There's a little pull-off area. I'm surprised, really. I was getting radio reception out here. So when I got into the country on the Big Island, very few options for radio stations. And I don't think Sirius XM even works out there, because these cars had Sirius on them. And I changed to it, and I wouldn't even get the information channel, whatever it is, channel 1. So I kind of think Sirius XM doesn't even work in Hawaii. Wherever their satellite's pointed, it's not pointed at Hawaii. Or maybe I was just in a bad coverage spot when I tried, I don't know. But yeah, look at that. There's a gate, private property. I mean, there's people who live out here. Private property. And, man, it's beautiful, but I like a little more civilization in my life. I'm a suburbs guy. I've come to learn that. And I don't think I want to live in the city. Don't want to live way out here in the country. Put me in between. Alright, finally made it. Whew. Now. Yeah, it was... What was it? So this is National Mountain Haleakala Park. I really hope I'm saying that correctly. Hold on, let me check. Let me check my... I had a local tell me how to pronounce this, and I actually recorded myself doing it, so I'd get it right. Let's see. Here it is. Haleakala. There you have it. That's how you say that. So, this was Haleakala National Park. It cost $30 to get in, but that was good for 2 or 3 days, I think. So I actually used that receipt to get into the park the next day at a different location. I did do both these trails. At the time, I thought I was only going to have one, or time for one, and I wanted to see the waterfall, the Waimoku. There it is. I knew there was an M in there. Okay. Waimoku Falls. I think I'm saying that. 2 miles out. Yeah, that's where we're going first. I got back. I did have time to do this Kuloa Point Trail. It's only half a mile loop, so that was easy. But yeah, let's get into it. Nice. That's a Pīpīwai. Hold on, Y. Pīpīwai, I believe. I think WAI makes the Y sound. And what's next? Oh, here's the trailhead, starting on up. Start of a 2-mile, 4-mile round trip journey. It was not difficult, I don't think. I don't remember going up a lot. I think most of the up was in the beginning here. I'd have to look online for the change in elevation. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I imagine it wasn't more than a few hundred feet. If it was more than 500, I'd be surprised. Yeah, maybe not. We're still going up. Flash flooding. Yeah, that's swift currents resulted in injury and death. Yep, very useful for today, because this was, in the middle of a monsoon. Pīpīwai Trail, Waimoku Falls. You can see the mud. That was the theme of the trip. It was mud and mud and mud. You can already hear some of the waterfall. Yeah, you'll see it. There's a quicker viewing point. I think that sign said half a mile in, and I did not catch the name. But for some of the less trekky visitors, this is pretty good. Half a mile in, check out the raging torrent as it was today, and turn around. In fact, I ran into some poor woman who had, like, lack of a better name, dress shoes on. She just did not look prepared to be walking this trail. I felt kind of bad for her. It's like, my friends are up there. She was struggling a bit, so I hope she made it. Ain't no way she got to got all the way to Waimoku. The water's down there. You can kind of see it through the trees. Also a ledge here. There's warning signs everywhere about stay on the trail. People have died falling off the ledge here. So, in fact, you can get fined for going off the trail. I don't know if this is one of those places, but oh yeah, well they fatal drop. Watch out. Yep. Yeah, it's pretty far down there. You don't want to go falling down off. You don't want to go falling off there. Looks like more of the same further up the trail. Just raging. You're not going to get, here we go. As in the past, I'm not going to read this to you. Feel free to pause, although I'm going to scan it. All right, feel free to pause and read that. Look at that. So maybe check the picture. Shoot, maybe back up and look at the picture, because it was just a trickle of a waterfall compared to this right now. That was one good thing about all the rain, was the waterfalls and torrents. So I'm going to shut up so you can listen to it. Really incredible. So that was half a mile in. Yeah, stay on trail. Do not enter. Fatalities have occurred. And they'll fine you $100 if they catch you not staying on the trail, I guess. And what do you know? This was a bonus. Found the Avatar Tree of Life on my way to Waimoku Falls. Didn't know it was here. Look at that thing. What? I mean, is that even one tree? I didn't notice this at the time, but if you look to the left, you can kind of see branches, in quotes, that are like in the ground, rooted in the ground. So I don't even know what this is, if this is even considered one tree or what, but this thing is incredible. If you've ever been to Disneyland or Disney World, sorry, they've got a tree. It's a fake tree, of course, you know, it's Disney World, everything's fake. But they've got some kind of tree that's huge and it's got all this weird stuff, and there's a waterfall running through it, and this kind of reminded me of that, like the natural version. I think I saw a spider in here somewhere. Got some water dripping off it. I mean, how old is this thing? I would love to know some more information about this tree. It's just incredible. I bet this thing's 1,000 years old almost. If it's even one tree. Yeah, there's a spider. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's one tree. It certainly looks like it. But then it's got other stuff growing out of the ground far away from the trunk, so I don't know. Any botanists out there? Tell me what the sucker is in the comments. I guess I could probably do some Googling also, but man, I was really, really impressed with that thing. Moving on. One last look. I think I took a picture of it too. No, I went back with my cell phone to take a picture. That's right. No falling there. So they actually, I pulled up at the guard shack. Just listen. This was a particularly muddy part of the trail. On the way back, I filmed myself crossing this whole thing, which it's pretty cool, I thought. This I did midway through. Yeah, look at this mess. Ugh. I did not bring any boots, so I had these shoes I'm wearing right now were perpetually muddy and wet the entire trip. And I started carrying them around in a plastic bag. Yeah, I pulled up to the guard shack. And she had a little bit of an accent. I had a hard time understanding her, but she eventually, I got it. She said, "There's no swimming allowed today, only hiking." And I'm thinking, swimming? So yeah, there are pools here. Their name starts with an O. They're on that original sign. I can't remember what they're called. But I guess normally they let people swim in them, and that was something the native Hawaiians used to do all the time. And, but she was like, "No swimming today." When I finally understood her, I was like, "Oh, you don't need to tell me twice. I'm not going to be swimming." I mean, it'd be instant death if you fell into this water today. Look at that. That is instant death. Enough energy there to power a small city. This bridge was a little rickety. It did do some bouncing, do some shaking. The only calm part, if you look at the bottom pool there, kind of the top left, that water almost looks like it's kind of staying put. You might be able to survive in there, but if you got swept up in the current downstream, no freaking way. Plus, who knows what rocks and things are underwater that you'd be banging against. I assume there's fishing things. Well, I know there's fishing things. So we'll get to it later. There's actually a species of fish. Yeah, we'll get to that when we get to that. So here's a bamboo forest. Now, this is one of the selling points on the hike. They're like, yeah, you'll get this bamboo forest. And it really just comes out of nowhere. And I asked one of the park rangers after the hike, like, what's up with this? You know, where does this bamboo come from? It was a native. Like, no, it's not native. Nothing in Hawaii is native. Yeah, I really wanted to walk out there and take a peek, but, yeah, I better not. Sign. He said Hawaii does actually have some native bamboo, but it's not this kind. Or something like that. So all the bamboo you see here is not the native kind of bamboo, and he was not sure actually where it came from. So it was obviously introduced at some point. I don't know if all this was planned or planted, or if it just got out of hand and started spreading everywhere. But there was a lot of it. I've got a lot of bamboo forest footage. Another bridge a little further up. Yeah, just a torrent of water. I'm sure this is rare. You can see how muddy it is too. I think you come here 11 months out of the year, you know, it's not going to look like this. So the locals told me that January and February are the rainy season in Hawaii, which I didn't know. Chalk that up as experience, maybe not come back during those months. But they said that even this year they've just been getting way more rain than usual, even given the time of year. So I don't know. It is what it is, I guess. But it made for some impressive water force. All that water is just washing out to sea. All that fresh water just right into the ocean. We're going to see that too. We actually get to the end of, I don't know if it's this river or not. It probably is. But later in this video, yeah, we'll see where this washes out into the ocean. Finally, some pictures. Yeah, here's more bamboo forest. Just walking up bamboo forest here. Like I said, there's a lot of it. This is right around, I think, where we saw the pig on the way back down. Maybe not. But, yeah, we'll see it. See it when we see it. Yeah, look at that. We need to import some panda bears and have them just start munching on this stuff, right? They eat bamboo, don't they? Yes. Yeah, panda bears eat bamboo. They go to town. There's one, I guess, that was sawed in half, so it's hollow, in case you didn't know. Don't think I did. Yeah, I thought that was a cool picture, just leaning into the pathway. Oh, look, what do you know? More bamboo. Water droplets on the camera lens are never fun. On up. This is up to. I guess there's more of a elevation change than I thought. Maybe I'd have to look up what this is. There's some more water. Not quite the rager as the other places, but that's where it's heading. It's crazy to think about, you know. I mean, this is obvious, of course, but water always flows downhill, you know. So you take your longest river, you know, Mississippi River, Missouri River, Nile River. That's downhill from the source to the ocean all the way. That's just... I think it'd like stop and pool somewhere, but no, it found a path all the way. Even in the parts like, you know, Missouri River, Mississippi River, I look at that, it looks flat, you know. It's like, how is this really downhill? But obviously it is. There's some bamboo stretching to the sky. More bamboo laying over the trail. Got some cool water here. I would like to see this, you know, not during the rainy season. I wonder if, because that water is obviously extremely muddy. Oh, and there we go. You can start to see it. So that's Waimoku Falls on the left. And some tiny other one on the right. Just, yeah, look at that. Wow. I think I looked up and just saw this. And I was filming. I didn't even know it was there. I just happened to look up and saw it. And it's like, whoa, that's got to be it. Yeah, we're getting close. I don't know if the Waimoku empties out into this or if they're totally separate or what, but there's a little part that's probably barely drizzling during normal times, I suspect. It is flooding the bridge. A little bit. Yeah, I tried washing the mud off my shoes, which is a total waste of time because guess what, idiot? you're going to be walking right through the mud on the way back, so what difference does it make? I think about halfway through washing the mud off my shoes, I realized that. Flat river. Getting closer. Although I can tell the white balance is going to kind of drown that out. Is GoPro just the white balance in the middle of a video? It might not. It might pick it. Or no, it does. I've seen it do it in my dive videos before. Never mind. Yeah, I'll be diving sometimes and I took a picture here instead. Man, look at that. It's that skinny little waterfall on the right there. I love that one too. Doesn't have the volume. And I bet during normal, not monsoon times, you probably can't even see that. The little one here. Yeah, I haven't looked this far ahead. I have no idea what my video actually comes out. But like with every other thing in Hawaii here, I'm sure you can Google way better videos and pictures than I'll be displaying. GoPro is awesome, but it has its limitations. The battery's on it drain like a tub, and it really is bad in low light. But something's got to give. Tiny little box like that shoots 4K, 60 frames a second. That's pretty incredible. Hey, look, I think this video looks great here. Here we go. Just about there. Look at that. Yeah, I wish the sky is kind of drowning it out there, but that's all right. You can Google Waimoku Falls all day long. Find a much better video than this. I bet that's really raging compared to what it normally looks like. And we're still not quite to the summit yet. Oh, there we go. Get some Yano in there. We gotta check that lens for raindrops. Here we go. Haleakala. That's what I said, right? Hold on. Let's double check that. Haleakala. Uh-oh.
Haleakala.
Yes. Haleakala. Haleakala National Park. All right. Waimoku Falls. Water recognizes no friend. Dangerous waterfall. Yeah, I believe it. Warning to always be respectful of the power of natural forces. Will not stop for anything in their path. No kidding. Waimoku can mean water that cuts, severs, amputates, or breaks in two, as a stream often does after heavy rains. That's the truth. Oh, that looks pretty good. That is gorgeous. This video is 2 minutes long. I'm going to shut up and just let you appreciate it in all of its glory. That's just really stunning. Really stunning. Yeah, I took some pictures of it. Man, I need to get some windshield wipers for my GoPro or something. Those were some mini waterfalls to the right of it, which I bet are not even visible or don't even exist during normal times. There's one more awesome picture of it. So that's over 400. I think it's right around 400 feet tall, or 400-foot fall. I got one more video of it. So you can, the trail continues actually through this stream. And there was a girl who actually went across it to the other side, and I didn't even realize you could do that until she did it. But, you know, look at that. I don't think I want any business trying to cross that. She killed it. I was waiting for her to take a dunk, but she killed it. And I asked her when she got back if it was worth it, and she said, you can see a little more of the waterfall, but there's basically a sign right on the other side that says, you know, don't go further than this. And I think one of my pictures or videos, if you look closely, you can actually see that sign. So if I can see that sign from here, I think I made the right choice and just enjoy the waterfall from here. Yeah, well, I couldn't take enough video of it. It just looks like it's falling in slow motion there, huh? Yeah, trying to keep the water off the lens was a constant struggle this week. Yeah, I did not want to try to cross that. Can you see the sign from here? I don't see it. I might, if I move it a little bit to the right, I think you might be able to see it then. There's another picture. Yeah, okay, you can see the sign. If you look in, you're not going to see me zooming in, but yeah, I can see the sign. So the sign is visible in this picture if you look closely. I don't even think you can read it, but I'm sure that says no further than this. So I got close enough. And sadly, every hike has to come to an end. Oh, I'm giddy. You can see that. I just saw a 400-foot waterfall glow in my face. Yeah, I think I kind of wanted a over-the-shoulder look with me in it. Did I say something? I think it was raining pretty steadily at this point. You can tell that I'm completely soaked. Incredible indeed. Pastiano was correct. Yep, there's a picture that I missed. I think I was, trying to get the falls in the background, but that's all right. Yep, now the water is starting to take over. Okay, this was the pig. Yeah. So this wasn't a bend before, so I was right. I recognized the, I think this was the pig. Yeah, this couple in front of me spotted it. I thought I heard something rustling around in there, or maybe not. But yeah, she said there's a pig in there. And I think you'll see it. I think I got a pretty good video of it. In between the bamboo stalks. Yeah, these are, you know, even when the Polynesians came here for the first time, there's a sign that said they brought a lot of things with them, and I don't know. First of all, I don't even know how anyone found this place. Look at Hawaii. It is out in the middle of absolutely nowhere. I mean, there's not even any...
Yeah. Oh, careful.
There's not any even, like, uninhabited remote islands around it. And somehow they found this place. They, like, credit their sea navigation and star navigation and being able to tell certain things about the ocean. I mean, I have no idea. That all sounds like magic to me, but... Yeah, there he is. What's up, big fella? But it said that even they brought, like, species of animals and plants with them. And I don't know if this is multiple trips because, you know, where they came from, it would have been several week ride, I think. You know, they basically came in glorified canoes. which taking one of those into the Pacific Ocean itself sounds like, you know, a death sentence. But man, they made it, and they brought a lot of invasive, you know, turned into invasive species of plants and animals, and then the white settlers did too, so that's pretty flower. So it sounded like, from what I've read, pretty much everything on this island was introduced by people. And as a fallout of that, that's an awesome looking tree. Yeah, that tree's got to be 1,000 years old also. Yeah, there's like, so some of the domesticated animals escaped, of course, and you know, you have wild populations of chickens, pigs, and apparently goats. Yeah, this was my entire march through the mud puddle on the way back. Ultimate sobriety test. Yeah, you can tell I'm 100% sober here. Yeah. I was just waiting to eat it. But it didn't happen. I don't think. Decided to seek the safety of the shore there, and then, yeah, I kind of ran out of rocks here. Yeah, now what? I think I took my chances on the slippery ledge here, yeah. See my foot sliding. Oh, uh-oh.
Almost ate it.
Yeah. Almost ate it, yeah. You got to, you gotta bring your cleats on this next time. That was a cool picture, cool tree. Selfie action. Oh, this is at the end, I think. Maybe? Is this at the end? Oh, yeah, I'd started on the, shoot, I should have taken a picture of the sign again. I'll have to go back and look, but if you remember the sign, it was the, Pīpīwai trail to the left and the other one to the right. So this is on the right part of it now. Shoot. I'm not going to read that. Feel free to pause and zoom in if you can. I don't think you can zoom in on YouTube, but it was like pouring rain at this time, as you can tell, just pouring. Yeah, it was impossible to keep the water off the winds here. There's another one of those tree of lives. Overhead. Vines hanging off of it. Very cool looking. If those are even vines, I don't think they necessarily are. And, I tried taking pictures of the signs. The park was getting close. They're about to close. I think I had like an hour before they closed, and I had, 2.5 hour drive back. So at this point, I was kind of trying to hustle. So I was not even trying to read these really. Restoring the Ala forest. All right. Trees, okay, some restoration. Well, that hat I wore is fantastic. That's a great hat. Keeps the sun out, keeps the rain off your face. Does a decent job with the wind off your face. I love that hat. SundayAfternoons.com. Check it out. It's a little pricey, but they got some good stuff there. And I didn't know what to expect on this hike. Right now, I was a little underwhelmed. Okay, yeah, I'll have to read that later. There's life in the water from the clouds. There certainly is. Again, I'll need to zoom in and read that later. So this is some archaeological site that got blurred by drops on my camera screen. And then boom, I was just saying, I was a little underwhelmed on this hike, and then we happened on the ocean. I did not know this was coming. Yeah, so all that raging water we just saw, this is where it empties out into the ocean. And this was a sight to see also. I've never really seen a river like this just collide with the ocean. And, yeah, so there's got to be a segment of brackish water out here that maybe some things can live in. I don't know. It depends on what their salt and freshwater tolerance is. But I bet this is just as powerful as you're ever going to see this. Look at all that water just gushing and rushing straight into the ocean. Really incredible. Yeah, I think the mic's on my, there you go. I think when the mics on the GoPro get some water in them, you know, they get muffled like this. You can kind of hear it's definitely muffled sound. And that kind of clears up, and then I wipe the lens, and then it muffles again, which... I don't get that. It might be doing some kind of internal noise canceling. I might be mistaking the rain sound for wind sound or something, because it does, the GoPro does try to, I think, cancel wind sound. And again, it does a pretty good job of that. If it's kind of oriented correctly. There's times I'll have it on my buddy's boat and he'll be, you know, flying 45, 50 miles an hour, and when I go back and watch the video, you really don't get that much wind sound, so... I think part of the weird sound distortion here might be its algorithms mistaking rain for wind. As you can tell, it was windy, but it wasn't super windy. You can see the tree leaves, they're not moving that much. Man, just look at that water just gushing out into the ocean. It's kind of funny to watch the power struggle, because you know the ocean's doing its wave thing, and here come the waves, and boy, they're just no match for this for this waterfall. Yeah, this was a fruitless effort, man. Just trying to keep the water off this lens. You can tell the waves are crashing into. You can see them crashing into the water, gushing out, and they're just not making any headway whatsoever. Chalk this one up to the river. I think they won this round. I was tempted to go down there, but they had signs, you know, don't do it. So you can see just that little channel where the waves can't beat, but they're washing up to the sides of it, no problem at all. Yeah, it's got to be a weird area of... Well, I'm sure this is just, you know, right in front there's salt water. You go to the left and it's like fresh water, and there's got to be a segment where it kind of mixes. In fact, you can kind of see it. You know, when I looked out there, maybe you can't quite see it that well here. But I thought you could at least see an area where there was like a distinct zone with dirt in it, and then not dirt. And obviously the river is washing all this dirt into the ocean. You can kind of see that. See where it's kind of brown and then gets gray-blue further up from that? Maybe. I can kind of see it, I think. So I imagine all that's kind of brackish water, and beyond that is salt water. But kind of nasty. Yeah, I don't think you want to go swimming in there. In fact, they have a warning sign that's like, don't go swimming in the beach here due to the presence of gray sharks. It's like, okay, don't need to tell me twice. Okay, that wind is blowing pretty good, actually. So the GoPro might be doing its wind canceling, and that's also canceling the rain water sounds. I don't know. Half asked somebody to GoPro that one. Yeah, there's the sign that's like, don't go down there. Danger. Yeah, I think the sign about the sharks is further up the mountain. Because, yeah, so these are where the pools are. Whatever the name of these pools are, they start with an O. It's like O apostrophe something. I'd have to check the sign again. Probably wouldn't be able to pronounce it anyway. But I guess under normal conditions, they let people come down here and swim in the pool. But obviously today, with the raging monsoon, they were disallowing that. It's a cool looking tree. Yeah, here it is. Oh, geez, I took a picture upside down. Did I? Nope. I'm gonna go back. All right. Can I flip this around? Yeah, I have to save it like that. Yeah, so this explains how the pools form, at least. So you got this raging water that comes down, you know, and it falls off the rock and hits the ground directly beneath it. And they say if that's soft ground, it'll dig a hole there, essentially. And that's what forms the pool. So under normal circumstances, when it's not monsooning, and I guess the waterfall is light, you have these calm, peaceful pools with presumably clear water that you can swim in. But like I said, obviously that was not happening today. And there's fish in here, so is that the next slide maybe? I'm going to zoom in here. You can see the shark in the bottom left. I'm going to zoom in here and see what I am going to read that to you. No, it's just a warning, do not dive into unknown waters. Beware slippery rocks. Yeah, looks like it's telling you to be careful of sharp, slippery rocks in the presence of gray sharks. I can't quite read that. Shoot. Yeah, I can't quite read that. That's kind of a bummer. So hoping I'll be able to read that. Well, all right, moving on. For it. There's a fish that lives in the ocean. It's born in fresh water here, and it says every year, or every time it breeds or whatever, it swims up the river to go lay its eggs. The Ohe'o pools. Oh, here's the fish on the right. Yeah. So you can see by the diagram, they're kind of showing you how the pools form. The water falls off, wrecks the ground directly underneath it, kind of digs out a little cavern and crevice, and that creates a pool, and the water keeps on flowing and then does it again. So you have these cascading pools that form. And yeah, here's the fish I was talking about. So let me see if I can read this. It says the larvae drift downstream to the ocean to develop. Man, again, I can't quite read it. As they return to the pools... They return to the pools to complete their life cycle. A powerful suction disc on their underside helps them climb up the steep cliffs at waterfalls. So there you go. These fish do like salmon and swim upstream, although they're not, jumping out of the water into, through these massive waterfalls. They actually use a suction cup on their underside to slowly climb up the rocks into the water. And that's how they end their lives, apparently, when they get to where they need to go to lay eggs. Pretty incredible. All right, what's next? Wow. Yeah, so that's one of the pools. Definitely not swimmable today.
Oh, that's
Unless you got a death sentence. Wash you down, you'd be knocked out before you made it to the ocean, and then one of the gray sharks would finish you off. So. Yeah, just look at that. That's a lot of energy. A lot of power. A lot of horsepower. Shoot, I wanted to not talk during the videos of the rivers and things here, waterfalls, so you could get a sense of how they sounded, but it looks like, at least in this instance, that's not going to be good. Again, I think the GoPro is doing its wind canceling stuff, so Unfortunately, not really going to get a sense of what it sounds like, but you can kind of imagine. Alright. The Mahele. Alright, now this is talking about... Yeah, this was talking about private ownership, I think. Maybe not. Yeah, this is. It says because common people, I think, were not accustomed to private land ownership. Most lands intended for them ended up sold or leased to foreigners. The effects of the Mahele are subject of great debate to this day. Let me back up a little bit. In 1848, King Kamehameha III privatized land for the first time in Hawaii as foreigners settled in Hawaii and introduced Western ideas. The king believed Mahele was a way for native Hawaiians to secure titles to their lands. So yeah, they basically privatized land for the first time. The common people had really no concept of this, no idea what its true worth was. So they sold it, leased it. Foreign businessmen ended up more favorable, wanted more favorable trade agreements with the United States. Overthrew the king, 1893, resulting in the controversial U.S. annexing of Hawaii in 1898. And it says United States formally apologized for that in 1993. So there you go. Yeah, this is one of the dirty parts of America. You know, the two egregious sins were slavery and treatment of the Indians, essentially just running them off the land. This was the same idea. But, you know, like I said, Hawaii was not going to stay sovereign for long anyway. So in that sense, I think it's good that we got it. But, you know, this exact thing is what we're yelling at Putin trying to do to Ukraine right now. So I don't know. Draw your own conclusions on that. Moving on. Oh, I think, what's the next one? Yeah, so this is the remains of somebody's settlement from the 1800s, I think. Somebody's house from one of those land rights deals. Yeah, one family's story. Let me see if I can scan this real quick. Well, the rock walled enclosure stands on land that once belonged to the Poonika family. Their story illustrates changes wrought by the 1848 Mahele, which privatized land and changed Hawaii forever. He was born here in 1843. Family purchased land in 1855 that they lived on for generations. Then he leased 2/3 of his land to a sugar company. You know, if they leased it, that means the sugar company was paying them to use the land, right? I mean, that might have been a better deal than selling it. But I don't know. They were probably leasing it for not as much as they should have been. I don't know. But those rocks in the previous segment are leftovers of this family's house, it sounds like. Or maybe that's this. Either way, that's 150 years ago plus. All right, that was the end of the hikes. So this is Haleakala National Park. The sign here. So I actually tried to go to the summit the next day. We'll talk about that when we get there. That was an utter failure, but I'm not going to read this. Rich culture, complex culture, summit area, uninhabited regions above the clouds. Yeah, feel free to zoom in. Oh, the "you are here" is kind of interesting. So you can see how close we are to the coast versus, yeah, you can probably read that. The "you are here" is in the black black box with white text. And it's pointing essentially what it looks like to the ocean. So that's how close we are to the ocean versus how tall the mountain gets. Yeah, the mountain blocks a lot of the weather, I think. So the east part of Hawaii is a rainforest. I think I read that here somewhere. It gets over, or I might have read that tomorrow. That gets over 300 inches of rain a year. I think the west side of Maui or the west side of the mountain gets 30. So that in itself is pretty interesting. All right, this was the drive home. Wow, look at that. So like I said, on the drive home, I should probably, well, it's going to be the last picture frame, but I didn't come the way I came. I told you I went north and then east all the way, basically circled around Maui. And this was the start of that journey. It turned out to be awful. But I still think going back the way I came might have been worse. So at least these roads were paved. But you can see, so it was this kind of road going about this fast for 2.5 hours. Except it got dark and the rain started pouring down. That was the only difference between what you're looking at now. And while it was still light, I was trying to drive past, and shoot some footage of all these waterfalls as I drove across them. Obviously, extremely beautiful. Yeah, speed limit of 20. I was doing more like 15. And the locals were doing more like 50. Yeah, look at this. So this is yield to oncoming traffic. So each one of these bridges, I mean, look at this road. How are 2 cars supposed to fit across this? But the bridges at least told you, hey, we're only 1 lane. Even though all this looks like 1 lane to me. So yeah, you're supposed to yield to oncoming traffic. So only 1 car over the bridge at a time. That's just beautiful. Yeah, I widened out a little bit, on the other side of the bridge, but that was tough. You can tell it's getting darker. Yeah. And I am nowhere close to home. And I was a little worried about my gas. I meant to get some gas before. I didn't. Yeah, ain't no gas station out here. I don't know what you do. If you flat tire, run out of gas, car won't start. I mean, does AAA come out here? I have no idea. So I think I had enough gas to get back, but I was freaking out just a little bit. I picked this Green Bay Packers fan and backcountry Maui, of course. They got stupid fans everywhere for no reason whatsoever. Yeah, here we go. How'd you like to live out here? This is East Maui. This is East Country Maui. I'm very curious what those houses cost. It's probably pretty livable, not stupid expensive out here. Can't be. I don't know. Not everybody on this island has $1 billion, In fact, I think Wikipedia said that, I was hiding the camera when cars drove. I think Wikipedia said the median income in Hawaii is $83,000, so, you can obviously live on that, but not everybody owns a freaking beachfront mansion with, 6 Lamborghinis in the garage. These are beautiful views, but this is too much country for me. I want to be a little closer to civilization than this. It's only getting darker as that sun goes away. Is that a waterfall? Can't quite tell. But I did find some gas, so I ended up, I think it was in Hana. They got a little bit of a town there. And I pulled over. I was like, man, I better get some gas. I probably can make it, but don't want to risk it. And the gas here in backcountry Maui is actually a lot more expensive than the call it mainland Maui. I think it was it $1.50 more or only 50 cents more? I can't remember now. It might have been only 50 cents more. But yeah, I mean, I can't imagine taking a fuel truck and just like driving it. Oh, look at this. We actually got some lines on this road. Moving on up in the world, baby. Hello, cows. I gotta stop jamming my teeth, man. You learn a lot about yourself or how you talk when you record hours and hours and listen to it. I make all kinds of stupid sounds that I don't want to make. And I've learned that I kind of jam my teeth like that when I get done talking, and so I'm trying to avoid doing that. It's a subconscious thing. I don't mean to. I really need some water, but getting to the end here, and it's getting dark, so I think I'll manage. Just beautiful. It's almost like a shame. I mean, how many gallons of fresh water are just getting washed out into the ocean, you know? I heard the locals had told me that they were kind of in a drought until this week, so I guess they needed the rain, but it was, yeah, as you'll see, okay, that was the last video. Why did this happen? I thought I even looked at this. All right, well, I'm going to redo this picture. It's cropped weird. I don't know why. But this is the route I took to get home. And I actually had to add in Google Maps a waypoint, we'll call it, at Wailua, because this was not even one of the suggested routes to go home. But this is the way I took. And I think it was pretty good. I think it was fine until I think about Wailua is when it really started getting bad. That's when the rain really came, and you can kind of see it if you take this route in Google Maps and zoom in on this road, you'll see how crazy back and forth. I mean, it's like climbing a mountain. It's full of switchbacks and bridges, and man, it was just a harrowing drive in the pouring rain and pitch black, no street lights. Yeah, I mean, if my car had broken down out there, I don't know what I would have done. It would have been awful. But thank God it didn't. Nissan Kicks came through for me, baby. And yeah, I think right around, well, certainly by Paia, the roads were back normal. It was a little bit before that. You can kind of tell, in fact, right about where the 2-hour 38 is pointing. I think that's where things finally started getting out of the mountain craziness drives and started straightening out a little bit. Certainly by Mama's Fish House. It's sad I had to drive it at night because I'm sure it was just beautiful. Very similar to probably the way there. But man, that was a white knuckle drive for me. I was not freaking out, but I was, just be patient. It's going to be 2 hours of this. You'll get through it. And I did, Lord willing. So that was it. That was my trip to Waimoku Falls. It was absolutely beautiful. If you're ever in Maui, that drive is awful, but do it. Worth it. My advice is wake up as early as you can, do the hike, come back, and maybe you'll make it back before it gets dark. Yeah, next up, I think it's going to be the Haleakala Summit. Well, my attempt at the summit. I actually punted on that hike, but I'll talk more about that when we get there. And yep, I will see you there, hopefully. Hey, just a real quick addendum. I did not have interest in putting these in chronological order, so here they are tacked on to the end. These were pictures of a couple of signs I took, or I guess 2 pictures of the same sign I took at the visitor center, just talking about the natives and how they got to Hawaii. Just incredible, absolutely incredible that anyone found this place. But before we get into that, if you read the first paragraph, it does say that Hawaii had hundreds of native species, plants, ferns, abundance of colorful birds, unique to Hawaii. I believe I said before that everything was imported, and while there is some truth to that, obviously that's not the whole story. But read this caption down below. I don't get it. Everything I've read is from a super high level like this. Excellent navigators, knew about the weather, seasons, sea conditions, star sightings, the sun's position, ocean signs. What's an ocean sign? I don't understand how they found this place. And look at the boats they took. 35 to 60 feet long in double-hulled canoes. I don't know what a double-hulled canoe is. Is that like a catamaran? Anyway, if you take a look at the next one, it says archaeological evidence indicates they came from Marquesas Islands more than 1,500 years ago. And they came from more than 2,000 miles away. 2,000 miles. That is further, I'm pretty sure, than the west coast of the United States is to Hawaii. I believe I was standing there on the street in Santa Monica, and they have a compass, so called a compass, of directions and distances to different things. I can't remember them all, but one of them was Hawaii, and I think it was less than 2,000. I don't know. Maybe it was 2,100, but that's really beside the point. The fact that these guys and girls climbed into double-hulled 35-foot boats and just went to sea for 2,000 miles with rowing and maybe some wind power, judging by the picture, it's just incredible. Incredible. Anyway, I just wanted to throw that up there for your edification. On to Mount Haleakala.